Assalamu alaikum. Good morning, students. Hope you are fine. I am Nasara Alam, teacher GHS Nawagabra. Today we will read the lesson The Happy Prince, written by Oscar Wilde. Oscar Wilde, Irish-born writer, was a novelist, playwright, poet, and critic. He was born on October 16, 1854 in Dublin and educated at Trinity College, Dublin. As a youngster, he was exposed to the brilliant literary talk of the day at his mother's Dublin salon. Later, as a student at the University of Oxford, he excelled in classic wrote poetry. At Oxford, Will came under the influence of English writers Walter Pater and John Ruskin. As an aesthete, the eccentric young Will wore long hair and a velvet knee breast. He had brilliance and flair won his many devotees. He died in 1900. The Happy Prince was a beautiful statue. He was covered with gold. He had sapphires for eyes and a ruby in his sword. Why did he want to part with all gold that he had and his precious stones? High above the city, on a tall column, stood the statue of the Happy Prince. He was gilded all over with thin leaves of fine gold. For eyes, he had two bright spires, and a large red ruby glowed on his sword hilt. One night there flew over the city a little swallow. His friends had gone away to Egypt 6 weeks before, but he had stayed behind. Then he decided to go to Egypt too. All day long he flew, and at night time he arrived at the city. Where shall I put up? He said. I hope that Toman has made preparations. Then he saw the statue on a tall column. I will put up there, he cried. It is a fine position with plenty of fresh air. So he alighted just between the feet of the happy prince. I have a golden bedroom, he said softly to himself as he looked round and he prepared to go to sleep. But just as he was putting his head under his wing, a large drop of water fell on him. What a curious thing, he cried. There is not a single cloud in the sky. The stars are quite clear and bright, and yet it is raining. Then another drop fell. What is the use of a statue if it cannot keep the rain off? He said. I must look for a good chimney pot, and he determined to fly away. But before he had opened his wings, a third drop fell, and he looked up and saw, ah, what did he see? The eyes of the happy prince were filled with tears, and tears were running down his golden cheeks. His face was so beautiful in the moonlight that the little swallow was filled with pity. Who are you? He said. I am the happy prince. Why are you weeping then? asked the swallow. You are quite drenched me. When I was alive and had a human heart, answered the statue, I did not know what tears were, for I lived in the palace where sorrow is not allowed to enter. My countries called me the happy prince, and happy indeed I was. So I lived, so I died, and now that I am dead, they have set me up here so high, and I can see the ugliness and all the misery of my city, and though my heart is made of lead you, I cannot choose but weep. What is he not solid gold? And said the swallow to himself. He was too polite to make any personal remarks. Far away, continued the statue in a low musical voice. Far away, in a little street, there is a poor house. One of the windows is open, and through it I can see a woman seated on a at a table. Her face is thin and worn, and she has coarse red hands, all pricked by the needle. For she is a seamstress. She is embroidering flowers on a stained gown for the loveliest of the queen's maids of honor. We were at the next court ball. In a bed in the corner of the room, her little boy is lying ill. He has fever and he is asking his mother to give him orange. Her mother, his mother has nothing to give him but river water, so he is crying. Swallow, swallow, little swallow, will you not bring her the ruby out of his sword hilt? My feet are fastened to his pedestal and I cannot move. यहाँ मैंने ये पैराग्राफ पढ़ा तो हमें इसकी उर्दू में हम मीनिंग पढ़ेंगे। शहर में एक ऊंचे सतून के ऊपर एक खूबसूरत बुत लगा हुआ था। ये खुशदिल हैप्पी शहजादे का बुत था जो सोने के पत्तों से ढका हुआ था। उसकी आंखें नीलम से बनी हुई थीं और इसकी तलवार की हथी पर एक लाल बना जड़ा हुआ था। खुशदिल शहजादा जब जिंदा था तो वो खुशियों भरे एक महल में रहता था और हमेशा खुश रहता था। उसे मालूम नहीं था कि आंसू क्या होते हैं, इसलिए उसके दरबारी उसे हैप्पी प्रिंस कहा करते थे। उसकी मौत के बाद उसका बुत इतनी ऊंचाई पर नस्ब कर दिया गया कि अब उसे शहर में रहने वाले सभी लोगों की दुखी ज़िंदगी की झलक साफ दिखाई देती थी। जब वो ऐसा देखता तो उसकी आंखों में आंसू भर आते। वो गरीबों की मदद करना चाहता था लेकिन बेबस था क्योंकि उसके पाँव बुत की चौकी के साथ बंधे हुए थे। फिर भी उसने एक छोटे परिंदे के जरिए ज़रूरतमंदों की मदद की। शहजादे ने एक अबाबील को अपने पाँव के नीचे में आराम करते देखा। उसने अबाबील से कहा कि दूर एक गली में किसी गरीब का घर है जहाँ एक औरत रहती है। उसका बेटा बीमार है, उसे बुखार है, वो संतरे खाना चाहता है लेकिन गरीब औरत से के पास संतरे खरीदने के लिए कोई पैसा नहीं है। शहजादे ने अबाबील से कहा कि वो उसकी तलवार की हथी से में लगा पन्ना उखाड़ कर ले जाए और उस गरीब औरत के पास पहुंचा दे। अबाबील ने वैसा ही किया और उसने पन्ना लेकर जाकर गरीब औरत के पास रख दिया। उसने लड़के के माथे पर अपने पाँव से पंखा भी किया। तो ये थी इसकी उर्दू में समरी। तो इंशाल्लाह कल हम दूसरा पैरा पढ़ेंगे। शुक्रिया।